We're getting away from the manual way of doing business in the city of Cleveland. We're going to go to curbside recycling, which would actually be better for the city and also for the residents too. The less that we put into the landfill will be more of a financial savings for the city, and also that's less garbage that's going into the landfill. Recycling is easy as 1, 2, 3. You bag them, you put them into the blue container, you roll it to the curb, and the truck will do the rest. We're committed to making Cleveland a cleaner, greener city of choice.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ronnie Duncan. It is the best of the best in boxing. They call it the king of the ring, but there'll be some queens of the ring as well. We're coming to you from the Masonic Temple in downtown Cleveland, and you can see it only exclusively right here at TV 20. We're talking some of the most talented fighters, not only in Cleveland, Ohio, but throughout the country. And we went outside of the country and found some national champions in Canada. So sit back and relax, because the king, as well as the queen of the ring, will be coming to you. Tonight we have Spencer Wilcox against Michael Withrow. Antoine Jones taking on Clemente Franklin. Armin Richards is getting ready for Delonte Johnson. In the battle of the Board of Championships, it'll be Cher Blasdale against Asia Smith. These are two young ladies in 123 pounds getting ready to get down. And our grudge match, and it's going to be a great one, Octavius Webb taking on Cato Montgomery. Well, I'm being joined at ringside by two excellent fighters from the area. Wilkins Santiago, who happens to be a 12-0 welterweight. He has 3 knockouts, and then, of course, one of the most decorated amateurs. I call him the Sugar Man. Henry Hughes, they're joining us. And, gentlemen, when we talk about amateur boxing here in the area of Cleveland, Ohio, this is going to be an extraordinary show. Wilkins, first with you. What do you think about these young men getting this type of exposure, fighting guys outside of the state, as well as some individuals from Canada?
Oh, it's outstanding, man, to come back to Cleveland, you know, where it all started for me as an amateur. It's definitely a pleasure to be here and support these kids, these younger groups, you know, getting ready to step themselves into the professionals. It's an honor to be here, man, and be a part of this boxing series going on here in Cleveland, Ohio.
If anyone knows about the Masonic Temple, he is a 3-time national champion. They call him Sugar because Henry Hughes was one of the most dynamic young fighters out there and a pretty decent pro as well. He's wearing the red because he gave all the blood to other people the way he was cutting them up. But let me ask you this, man. What about this facility right here, Hughes? You remember coming in here, having amateur fights, amateur competition. What was it like?
Oh, it was awesome, man. And I hope the fighters today appreciate it. It was awesome and it's big today. In fact, it's bigger. I look forward to seeing the guys get it on.
Good enough. Well, you see, my broadcast partners, when you come back and we come back with you, you're going to see some things in the ring. It's the king of the rings, the best of the best in boxing here on TV 20.
Every family in Cleveland is affected by cancer. We have a significantly higher rate than the national average of cancer, and even worse, more deaths from cancer than we deserve. For more information about prevention, screening, and clinical trials for cancer, call the Case Comprehensive Cancer Center at 216-844-8797.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the King of the Ring, and it's right here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's the Best of Boxing Series number 4. Now let's go up to our ring announcer, Paul Schill, who's getting ready for our very first fight of the evening, and that will involve a young man out of Canada. His name is Spencer Wilcox. I spoke with him earlier, and this is what he had to say about his big fight. Well, King of the Ring has some international flavor, and one of them is my man right here, Spencer Wilcox, out of Ontario, Canada. What is it like being here in Cleveland, Ohio, more importantly at the Masonic Temple? You know Aaron Pryor has fought in this building, some of the great legendary names. You're doing it as an amateur. Give me your first impression.
It's an honor to be fighting in the same buildings as someone like Aaron Pryor has fought in. Just take it as I go.
You know, a lot of people look at you, and you look like the library boy from next door. But you're a whole different beast in the ring. Tell us what we can expect when we see you in the ring.
Well, you know, I ain't the national champion for no reason. I didn't come to have an easy fight. I came to have a good fight. People can expect. I will box, but I grew up with 5 brothers, so I know how to fight.
You know, when you talk about brothers, and speaking of Canada, there's nothing like the Hilton brass out of Canada. Now, how does your family, the Wilcox family, meet with the Hilton family? You guys just as rough and tough as they are? Because, I mean, Davey Hilton and the whole gang, they were some good guys.
Yeah, well, all of our brothers, we've all been national champions. 2 of them are professional right now. They're fighting this month. Growing up, I was born into it. My brother Steven started us off. My dad owned the gym ever since I was 3 years old, so right from the beginning I was a fighter.
Good enough. Now what is it? Is it boxing in your family or is it hockey? Come on, be honest.
It started from hockey, but then we're all boxing now. Steven, he was the oldest, so he was the one who starts everything off. So we all did hockey after him. And then he decided, I've had enough of teammates blaming it on me and stuff like that. So my dad introduced him to the gym, and then ever since then, our whole family, we've dropped hockey, and it's boxing.
All right, Spencer's ready. Let's see if our ring announcer is ready. He is the one, Mr. Paul Schill.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we rise to see the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Ladies and gentlemen, Perry Meyer. And now here to sing our national anthem, please welcome Pat Devine.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Pat Devine.
All right, fellas, we are here, of course, for a great evening of amateur boxing. Joining me at ringside, Wilkins Santiago, and, of course, the one and only Henry Hughes. Guys, when you think about amateur fights like this, let's face it, this is an opportunity to make that passport look a whole lot better.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's like I said, it's an honor to be here, man. To see these young and talented, you know, up-and-coming youths coming out here and do their thing today. It's just an honor to be here in Cleveland, you know, one of the cities where I fought myself. Terrific crowd out here. Just honored to be here.
Good enough. We're doing a honorary 10 count for some of the individuals who have passed in the sport of boxing. Let's listen in. May they rest in peace. Henry, what was it like for you back in the day when you were an amateur, a celebrated amateur, but do you remember that first international competition? And that's what some of these young men and women will be receiving here tonight, because they're going to be facing individuals from Canada. What was it like for you?
Oh, the first international fight was intriguing. It was, I hate to say it, but it was more than just the average fight. You know what I mean? When you fight somebody from another country, it's just that much more interesting.
We've got a young man who's going to be stepping in the ring. His name is Spencer Wilcox. He comes from a fighting family. And I don't know, Wilkins Santiago, if you remember the Fighting Hilton family out of Canada. A bunch of brothers who would fight for WBC super middleweight championships, super welterweight championships, Davey Hilton, Matthew Hilton. I mean, they were some tremendous fighters out of Canada. And this Wilcox family is like that. All 5 of these brothers are boxers. I mean, if you beat one, then you got to beat them all, and that's a lot of brothers to go through. What do you say?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'm not too aware of the guys you spoke on, but I have heard of a few of them. I heard they do come from a family that the number of fighters, man. So we'll see what they got to bring to the table today.
You know, I was talking to Moriel McLean, who happens to be our female fighter. We'll be seeing a little bit later in our broadcast here on TV 20. And I love what she said. She said, I didn't choose boxing. Boxing chose me. When someone says that, that means that it was already in you to be a fighter. Exactly. And I think that is the main type of DNA that every fighter needs to go. You know, it's easy to follow someone to the gym, or your dad says, hey, I'm going to teach you how to box. But when you don't choose boxing, and boxing chooses you for your athleticism, your style, your grace. Let's face it, it is one of the most active physical activities anyone could ever be involved in.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I feel the same way. Boxing was something that chose me. When I walked in that gym, it was something that I didn't know what I was going to take on. And just being behind it now, it's a dream come true, living my dream out, and it feels good to be where I'm at today, 12-0, undefeated professional fighter. Coming to see these amateurs broadcast their talents today, it's an honor to be here, man.
You know, when you talk about it, and of course we see in the ring right now the young man that I've been speaking so much on, Spencer Wilcox, who comes to us from Ontario, Canada. He is part of the Steeltown Boxing Club, and that is his father in his corner. Henry, what is it like to have a sibling in the corner, brother, sister, it's like the Bird family in Flint, Michigan, or in even your case, having that dad in the ring or dad at ringside? What is that like?
That makes you even try even more harder. In some cases it could be how do I want to put it? That sometimes that father fighter syndrome don't work.
Sometimes it can be a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Sometimes you can have the success of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Sr. Let's face it, when dad is the reason why you gravitated to the sport, but you picked it up at such an early age, then you've got an individual, say for instance, a Layla Ali, who didn't necessarily want to fight, but fought under a great name. Fortunately, she had great genes as an athlete, and she was able to move on. Of course, the young man that Wilcox is going to be fighting, is Jabril Hawkins. He's out of Akron, Ohio. He's from the Hit Squad Boxing Club. And I tell you what, when you get a chance to wear pink in the boxing ring, you better be able to fight.
You better look pretty in there. You better look pretty.
123-pound division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, representing the Steeltown Boxing Club, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Please welcome Spencer Wilcox. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, he represents the Worldwide Boxing Club from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is Mike Withrow.
Well, they made a change, and Mike Withrow is going to be fighting out of Pittsburgh, and that it will be one of the changes. And that happens often in amateur boxing. You have a card, and then all of a sudden they tell you, guess what? It's going to be this guy against that guy. But we've got it for you. We've got Mike in the ring, and let's see exactly what he does. And, of course, the red corner, wearing the red trunks, trimmed in white, is the young man Spencer Wilcox. And, of course, you've got Mike sitting up there in the hot pink out of Pittsburgh in the blue corner. We're getting ready for round number 1. Now, obviously, in amateur boxing, when you talk about it, safety comes first. That's the most important thing. As you can see, you've got Spencer trying to hold off on the jab. And you would imagine the smaller fighter wants to get inside. And if anybody knows about getting inside and throwing that body punch, it's my broadcast partner. It is Wilkin Santiago.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. You know, boxing, chop the body down, man. Everything else folds. You know, break them legs down. You wicket them legs early on, and you know, you got a stationary target set right in front of you. So you know, you work off of that. Nice punches.
Nice punches, and that's exactly what he's doing, going toward the body, the young man in the pink. And that was a tremendous body shot that time. Now, Spencer Wilcox doesn't appear to be the type of individual who has one of those aggressive attitudes outside the ring. But inside the ring, he says, Mr. Duncan, I love to fight. He's trying to put that jab out there. As you can see, he is an individual who leads with that left hand. And, of course, that power hand is the right hand. So he's an orthodox fighter.
See, he's a switch fighter as well, too. He goes from right hand to the southpaw stance. He looked kind of sharp on both ends.
Just had a really good body shot that time by Spencer Wilcox, a young man from Ontario, Canada, for the Steeltown Boxing Club.
Nice body work.
Nice body work. What was really impressive was the left hook upstairs by Mike. Mike trying to time him that time with the left hook. Wouldn't you say, Henry? He was waiting for him to come on in, and he just missed it by a few inches. That's what boxing's all about, a few inches.
Mike looked pretty good in there, too.
That smaller guy is coming upstairs. He kind of let go of that body a little bit now.
Nice body shot that time by Wilcox, though. It's not how you start, it is how you finish. It is 3 rounds of boxing, and we're talking about making sure you pace yourself correctly.
Nice overcross from both sides.
Tell you what, good action. And our very first bout of the evening is the Best of Boxing Series, number 4, King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. It's all going to happen here tonight. And we've got a young man from Pittsburgh taking on a young man from Canada, Ontario, Canada. Let's take a look at a replay of round number 1 and see what we can find as we look at our King of the Ring boxing replay. As you can see, he just misses with that overhand right. Couldn't get that cross to go, but there was a little short left hook. That time by Wilcox.
Nice move on a body shot. Got away from that shot.
Nice move. Yeah,
nice uppercut again. Nice
Mike
hook,
came up with a nice hook himself as well. Got a 1-minute break for all the fighters in between the rounds, and of course we're doing what we got to do. It is so nice, you know, you talk about coming back home to Cleveland. Cleveland is a second home for me. I mean, having worked at the CBS affiliate Channel 19 and 43 for as many years as I did, and to come back and to do amateur boxing and to do it here on TV 20, it is such an honor for me as well. We're round number 2 of this scheduled bout between these young men, and they're ready to do their thing in the ring. Yes, they are. I'm talking about the King of the Ring, King of the Rings, Night of Championships, right here
nice jab
at the Masonic Temple. I'm sorry, Wilkins, what were you saying?
Nice jab cross. Mr. Wilcox just got in there, kind of being smooth in there, basically trying to time his guy. A nice hook.
I see Mike can turn back to southpaw.
Putting more pressure now. Yeah, Mike back to southpaw. Yeah, he's a switch fighter. I can see that. You got to be careful when you're doing adjustments like that, man.
Nice straight right hand down the pipe that time by Spencer Wilcox. Spencer Wilcox in the red trunks, trimmed in white.
Yep.
He started off not as aggressive, but he's getting stronger as the fight goes on, and you can see it.
Yeah.
There it is, the overhand right set up by the left hand. And once again, he says, I can mix it up. And look at that left hook from out of everywhere. Wow. He threw that from a distance, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
He's coming. He's coming. He's bringing the heat, man. He's bringing the heat. He's definitely active in there. Nice movement. Nice overhand right.
Overhand right, but what a counter right hand.
Yeah,
he set that one up.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, it was more like a check right hand, wasn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. He came off the punch and put all that back foot into it.
Feet got tangled.
Got caught with a little one there.
But he's still being more impressive here in round number 2. If round number 1 went to Mike, round number 2 is going to Spencer Wilcox. Now this is when all of that road work really comes in. And if you notice, what I'm seeing right now from Mike is that he has slowed down.
He's slowed down big time, tremendously. He's trying to load up his shots, trying to catch something. Wilcox doing a great job of boxing, man. Beautiful boxing, man.
Henry, if you're in the corner of Wilcox, what are you telling him right now, the young man from Canada? Because after round 1, it was obvious from us that he lost round 1. Round 2, I say this is an even fight. Your opinions?
Yep, I agree. It is an even fight. And this is the round to do it. This is the round to take the stand.
In every amateur fight, and we've all had amateur fights, and let's take a look at some of the action of the replay and watch him. I mean, see, he's measuring him with that jab. And there comes the right hand. Not as clean, but that body shot with the left was really a good body shot, and Mike felt it. The only problem I saw in this round, and round number 2, for Spencer Wilcox is that his feet got tangled up, and that was the only way that Mike was able to get him set again and get him into a position where he was doing more backfighting.
Exactly.
But when he's moving forward, he is the aggressive fighter, and he had an aggressive round.
Definitely. He's definitely a threat in there when he keeps bringing the fight, putting that pressure on the guy. You know, he's looking sharp in there, looking sharp. Starting off with a jab now.
We're into round number 3 of this amateur competition, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, at the Masonic Temple in downtown Cleveland. Historic building. Some great fights have happened in this building, and it is a great venue for boxing, be it amateur or professional.
Yep. He's leaning with that body shot. You got to kind of be careful in there. You don't want to get caught with an uppercut there, especially from a southpaw stance.
Well, the one thing that Wilson has to be more concerned about, and I'm talking about Spencer Wilcox, he can throw those money shots, but you can't throw them from way out. I mean, that one time that he threw that left hook in the middle of the ring, and he's reaching for it, that's a dangerous way to get hit with a counter and get knocked out.
Definitely. You don't have your feet behind you. Any punch can land at any given time, so you got to be careful.
Wilkins Santiago, the one thing I can imagine that you know so well about as far as boxing is concerned, and even at 35 years of age and undefeated, balance is the most important thing in boxing.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You gotta make sure you come in with the right punch at the right time. Timing is key in there. So everything's got to be precise and on point. Mr. Wilcox he's landed some punches, but a little wild with it at times.
He's a little wild, he's rangy, but look at that. Look at that left hook. I mean, he came downstairs and brought it upstairs. And the one thing about it is that he's scoring the punches, and that's the most important thing when we talk about the amateur rules. Santiago, if you can, talk about the amateur rules compared to the professional rules and why sometimes people will look at a fight and say, there's no way he won, but on the amateur ranks, he does win.
Oh, it's a big difference. You know, in amateur is more about the point system. You know, and when you're involved in a professional level, you know, there's different looks that different judges, different referees look at in a fight, and you know, it's all the way completely different. Mr. Hughes, you may want to touch on that a little bit as well, give him better insight on that.
Yeah, like you said, in the amateur angle, what you're saying in the amateurs is pretty much who land the most punches. In the pros, who land the power punches.
Power punches can win it, and if you land the right power punch in the amateur, it goes down as an RSF, referee stops contest.
Yeah.
RFC, excuse me, referee stops contest. RSC, yeah, referee stops contest. I knew that sooner or later I would get it, what I was trying to say. All right, we've got, of course, these fighters in a 3-round fight, and I have to admit, I was very impressed with Spencer Wilcox. It has to be a little frightening coming into someone's home country, someone's home state. You know, you got Mike over there. He's from Akron, Ohio.
Right.
But in the red corner, you're coming all the way from Ontario, Canada. You're coming to the United States. You're fighting here. And it's not a place you fight all the time, but you're fighting here in the United States. He's never been to Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
And I spoke to him about that. And he's fighting here in Cleveland, Ohio. So to come out in that first round and be a little apprehensive, it's understandable.
Oh, definitely.
But he definitely showed what he was made of in rounds 2 and 3. I've got him winning the fight, but of course, it's up to the judges at ringside.
Likewise.
Boxing fans, please put your hands together for these two outstanding young athletes.
These young fighters really came to fight, and they are looking forward to finding out. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Paul Schill, to get the particulars of who won this contest. Paul?
Boxing fans, your winner on points, fighting out of the red corner, Spencer Wilcox.
Good win for Spencer Wilcox. We picked it here at ringside. I think it was a unanimous decision, of course, in our way of thinking. Henry, why do you think he won the fight?
That last round, he put out more. He appeared to be a little bit more hungrier. I think the last round did it for him.
Go ahead and describe some of the action you see right here, Wilkins.
They're like in shape. You see Mike try to come over. He's winging shots too far. You know, not getting in there, taking that extra step to actually land a shot. Wilcox being a little more steady. I can see he's trying to range him out with his punches. He's chasing him down. They basically putting the pressure on the guy, and there he goes with a couple nice shots he landed in there.
And that was with the lead right hand.
Exactly.
That was a lead right hand, looking as if he's setting up with the jab. He's ranging you with the jab, and then boom, he popped to the lead right hand, and he followed it up with the left. Yeah. What I liked about him is he wasn't just a onesie fighter.
Right.
He was a 1-2. He was a 1-2-3-4. He was fighting in combinations, and that's what made him the busier individual in the ring, and that's why Spencer Wilcox becomes our first winner. We'll be right back with much more of the Best in Boxing Series number 4, the King of the Ring, Night of Champions, from the Masonic Temple in Cleveland, Ohio, only on TV 20.
The Northeast Ohio Regional Fusion Center and law enforcement agencies from across Cuyahoga, Lake, Geauga, Ashtabula, and Lorain counties have launched iWatch, a free and anonymous way to directly report suspicious activity, tips, and leads. It's a free app you can get right on your smartphone. This app is not a replacement for calling 911 in an emergency, but this app is a crime-fighting tool.